Hi, my name is Olen Lenets. I'm a litigator here at Rose Law Group. I primarily focus on contract disputes, landlord-tenant disputes, and I do a little bit of criminal defense as well.
Excellent. So you are from Ukraine, which is very unique and cool. Tell us about what it was like coming over to the United States when you were a kid.
So I was born in Ukraine, and I lived there until I was 4 years old. My parents are both PhDs in physics and taught at the university there in my hometown, and they wanted my sister and I to have every opportunity available to us, which they didn't think would be the case if we had stayed in Ukraine. So using their education and their connections with that, they first moved us to Germany, where my dad worked at an Air Force base there, working on military plane and helicopter engines, and then got recruited by the United States government, and we got moved out to Ohio, where he worked at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, ultimately getting picked up privately through Honeywell, where he just retired after 20 years last year.
Awesome. So it's probably safe to say that you're the kind of person who can adapt pretty easily. Do you think that is useful at all in your practice as you're dealing with different people and different clients?
Yeah, absolutely. Every single client is different, even if the underlying dispute is the same. Different clients have different goals and different reasons for litigating. Some, need to recoup the losses that they've suffered, and some do it simply out of pride and principle. At the same time, the opposing counsel you're going to face, or the self-represented party on the other side you're going to face, is always going to be different, or at least mostly different. You do run into some familiar faces, and some you work really well with, and that's great. I've had a few cases with repeat opposing counsel, and our previous relationship, we understand, there's a level of trust and understanding between each other that we're both just advocating on behalf of our clients, and we're working towards a resolution rather than trying to use gamesmanship and procedural tactics to, gain an advantage for our client. So it's always good to be able to adapt and stay on your toes and take every situation at face value.
Yeah, it sounds very diplomatic.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're not winning trials, I know you're really big into sports and hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why you love hockey so much.
I just grew up with it as a kid. I think my dad played ice hockey. I know he played ice hockey when he was a kid back in Ukraine, and when we moved to Ohio and I was of age to start playing more, competitive youth sports, I got into roller hockey. My dad coached both mine and my sister's roller hockey teams, and he actually played in the adult league as well. So I would go with him on weekends and get to watch him play with the adults, and then have my own game. I remember my dad had elbow pads when he played, and they were huge, obviously, for me. So I used his elbow pads as my knee pads when I played my games as a kid. And then moved out here. Hockey was not really a thing. Coyotes came here actually the same year I did.
Thanks.
Right. But no ice hockey rinks or anything like that. So ice hockey kind of waned off for me, or hockey in general. I got into other sports. I played travel baseball, travel soccer, played volleyball in high school. My team actually won the state championship when I was a junior. And then I kept watching hockey, and actually about 4 years ago, I finally bought a pair of ice skates. I had learned how to ice skate, but I'd never played, and I actually bought a pair of ice skates, got the full gear, and have been playing adult ice hockey now for the last 4 years.
Nice, very cool. Who is an athlete that you take inspiration from?
So this is kind of cliche, but when we first moved to Ohio, we were right next to Illinois, and it was 1996, so 96 to 98, I think my parents and I, my whole family, we watched every single Bulls game, and as probably anyone who's, 10 years and up, I idolized Michael Jordan, and so that's probably kind of my go-to, athlete or hero. At the same time, I was a huge Brett Favre fan. I had no idea about football at all. Didn't even know it existed until I was in probably, kindergarten or first grade. I'd never seen it, so it was a completely strange new sport to me. Parents couldn't explain it to me. I remember sitting watching games, and it would say 1st and 10, and then it would say 2nd and 7, and I why? Why are these what do these numbers mean? And one day I made the connection. Oh, the guy ran for 3 yards, so 10 minus 3. and now it's second down, 2nd and 7. Oh, it all makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now it does make sense. Thank you.
There you go. And so, anyway, when we first moved here, the Packers were huge. They were in the Super Bowl. And same thing, my parents never watched football. I had no idea the magnitude of the Super Bowl. So we watched the Super Bowl the first year we were living in America. And it was the Packers and the Patriots. And again, didn't understand anything, didn't know the players. But since then, still today, I say the Packers are my favorite football team.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Olen.